So what do we have on the drawers today? Some pink, a sheep, something that you hear in every British club, and oh, here's my Xbox profile pic. So yeah, feel free to add me at HarperMusic73 if you're on Xbox, and then we can play some Garden Warfare 2 together. And I could even help you out with Infinity Time if you're struggling with that. Link to that video in the card over here. Let's get on with this video. Legendary character themes are one of the numerous additions to Garden Warfare 2 that are completely unnecessary, but boy am I thankful they exist. It makes filling up the meter that bit more satisfying when you get to jam out to some sick tunes while butts kicking the enemy team. Yes, I pretty much did this list already, as almost all of the themes from Neon Mixtape Tour in Plant vs Zombies 2 were reused in this game, and I have ranked those, but now I'm ranking every legendary jingle from Garden Warfare 2 from worst to best. In my own opinion, of course. I'm GMVS, let's start. Number 12 is Iron Citron, because it doesn't have one. Number 11 is Toxic Brains, because it also doesn't have one. So why did I rank Toxic Waste of Time above Iron Citron? Well, one, because Toxic Overload is so easy to get that you'd probably get bored of the theme quick if there was one. And two, because they missed out on a hell of an opportunity to give the Iron an epic metal tune, and that's coming from me, who doesn't really like heavy metal music much at all. In fact, when I watch Wolfie plays whenever he used Iron Citron, I believe the Duke Nukem theme was Iron's legendary theme since Wolfie always puts it in. And while it would be better that way, unfortunately that's not the case. Number 10 is Captain Partyman. Yeah, maybe I'm biased given that this is the only party character's theme that I didn't know since it was in Plant vs Zombies 2. Except I did know it because it's Captain Smasher's theme, I just forgot. In fact, that best describes why this jingle is so low. It's pretty forgettable. It's definitely not bad. There are no bad legendary themes, unless you count the two that don't have one. There are no legendary themes where if they come on I would get irritated. Certainly none that would prompt me to play bad on purpose so I don't fill the meter. But out of all of them, this is my least favourite. What also doesn't help us out as far as party themes go, Scalawag Imp's jam completely thwarts Partyman's. Party Citron's theme is pretty different to most of the others due to its hip hop style, given that it's the rap jam from PvZ2, yet still manages to fit in with a party theme. The low ranking is mainly because it's not the most exciting. It does get you bopping your head, but it doesn't fill you with adrenaline like so many others do. And in my opinion, they could have taken a better portion of the rap jam, given that all party time jams are condensed versions of NMT jams. Regardless, it's still a pretty good song and a great bonus to Party Citron's disgusting party time mode. The second best legendary corn in the game has a jam that's quite different from all the rest. Instead of a danceball tune that would fit in place of the nightclub, this guy has a tribal sounding track that is honestly more headbang worthy than your typical metal song. Even party corns, despite the fact he's yet to come on this list. The reasons for the underwearless corn not being any higher are 1, the song is pretty monotonous when you take everything into consideration, and 2, it's very quiet in gameplay. You generally need headphones in order to hear it in its full glory. In fact, listening to it with headphones while preparing for this video, I picked up on a sound that closely resembles PvZ2's main theme. In fact, it might have actually used samples of PvZ2, although the intro to that game was added later on, and I can't remember if it was before or after Command & Corn was added to GW2. Can anyone elaborate? Party Rose, despite being the worst legendary in my opinion, yes, even worse than Disco Chomper, she has a hell of a tune to accompany her party mode. Sampling the best part of the Boombox Zombies jam, this greatly makes up for the fact that you rarely get to hear much of the song in Plant vs Zombies 2 due to that jam's specific mechanics. However, as I mentioned in my other video, I do think this song is very similar to Party Corns, albeit a bit weaker. Nonetheless, a great tune, and the only real reason I have to play this character since mastering her. Now it's time to talk about the former worst character in the game, Party Brains, and what a banger this is. It just feels so good to hear when running around with him on a mission to find the next unfortunate soul who will kiss your fists. Like the pop jam is just the perfect match for the glittered up superhero. It's another one where they took the best portion from the Neon Mixtape Tour jam, as a futuristic yet 80s leaning vibe reflects the superhero class being created in a lab, and how he's described as thinking he's in an 80s action movie. Moving away from the party characters now, Well, sort of. Seriously, why do they make a legendary variant that's very similar in appearance to the party characters? What about a space-themed chomper or something? The Saturn Chomper. Request for Garden Warfare 3. Anyway, despite the amount of flack this character gets, one thing that's unanimously agreed upon is that his legendary mode is a banger. Helped by a particular Welshman doing some air humping to it. On the probable few occasions you've managed to achieve Disco Fever, you've had a lot of fun booging out to this tune. Some people might think it should be higher up, but if you sit down and listen to it, it'll get old quick, especially as the track is literally just a drum beat, funky guitars, and some weird keyboard stabs. But hey, it sure as hell works. The 15 seconds of glory that is Scalawag Imp's theme is probably the best part about his legendary mode, given it doesn't increase his damage or ammo capacity. However, Yo Ho Ho mode is pretty easy to get due to only requiring 3 kills, so you get to enjoy this groovy head bopper quite a bit. What would make this track even better is if it played while you're in the mech, like Party Imp, but hey, I will happily take those 5 seconds of fun that YHH mode brings. Yeah, I know, short entry for short legendary mode, but whatever. Fittingly, one of the best plants in the game has one of the best legendary jingles. Partycorn reuses the hair metal jam from NMT, and this time it's reasonable that they only use a small segment of the song given it's about 5 minutes long back when it was owned by the Hairy Garg. It's shredtastic, it gives off boss music vibes, which, let's be honest, is basically Partycorn in a nutshell, even when he's not in party time, and it makes Wolfie turn into a seagull. And given that it belongs to the class that has Husk Hop, Shock Shot and Bigger Better Butter if you're rich enough, or spoiled enough, and he's a party character so you can fill the meter up with shared vanquishes, it ain't too difficult to hear the glory. Runner-up is Computer Scientist. Giving the remaining NMT theme to Martin Prince's zombie counterpart was a pretty obvious decision, given that it couldn't possibly fit in with anyone else better, and explains why Party Man was left in the dust. Crunch mode is a somewhat controversial legendary mode, with some complaining that it makes it hard to see due to the distorted visuals, and some stating that even in Crunch mode the Computer Scientist has less DPS than the regular Scientist, even though that's wrong. But the 8-bit jam just gives that extra surge of adrenaline whenever you activate his meter that makes my personal favourite legend so much fun to play. Yeah, of course the punk jam's at the top of my list. Casting back to another video. The ass-kicking punky theme for the party imp is just what you want to hear when achieving that party time meter and going ham on the other team. I'll never use that term again, I promise. And what makes this even better is that it plays when you're in the mech, so if you're like me and you struggle to feel the meter, especially with this character in particular, you're not forced to miss out on awesomeness. While PvZ2 players may pick up on how noticeably edited it is from the punk jam, it's not exactly off-putting in the grand scheme of things, and when this is the soundtrack to wreaking havoc in the battlefield, you won't care. Best legendary jingle in the game. That's my list. Leave your thoughts in the comments down below, subscribe if you're new, leave a like, that really helps me out. I'm GMVS, thanks for watching.